hello. Thank you for staying with me. I do understand that it's a pre-lunch time, so I'm going to do my best to be as brief as possible. I can talk about it all day, literally all day. The reason why I have this kind of audacity to talk about all day is most of my gray hair is earned through struggling with the digitalization processes across various companies, groups, state agencies, etc. And there are some commonalities that I have noticed throughout that process. This is what I'm going to deliver to you today, and you are welcome to catch me in the hallway or during the conference to discuss it further. So, yeah, I did it. So the first question, and probably one of the fundamental ones, is digitalization a trend or an essential? To briefly answer that question, I'm going to remind you of several very famous names, which is like Nokia, Kodak, IBM. I'm sure you know what they all have in common. These are the companies who considered digitalization initially as a trend. Respectively, they failed to innovate and keep up with the market. Not only market, but the technology and the community that they were serving. What we need to understand is that absolute majority of the decision makers in modern world are not tech natives. They are like me. They had to push the TV with a fist as they were kids to make it work. So for them, flat screens, AI, generative AI, and all those fancy words are a bit scary. Respectively, they are prone psychologically to keep and hold on the things that they do understand and that they can utilize in their everyday life. That's why most of them still believe, until today, that digitalization, technology, AI, automation, robotization is just a fancy trend that will go away. Sorry to disappoint, but that's no longer true. It's an essential. You cannot name any field of any industry that is not somehow dependent on technology. Art was the last standing hero in that, and even the art has been fully gone digital. We know what the NFT has made to the industry. We know how effectively art is being traded through digitalization. We need to also keep in mind that technology is a supporting industry. Tech, just like the presenter, one previous behind me mentioned, technology is designed to help the core business activity to deliver their product more effectively to their customers. We can argue whether tech is for tech purely or not, but that's like commonality. So that brings us to our next question. So why do we go digital? What are we trying to achieve from this? We just want to be part of the crowd, keep up with the already essential as we established, or are there any tangible benefits that it brings to our main business or the goal that we're trying to achieve? Well, to summarize, it's the three major benefits that we get by going digital. One is enhanced efficiency and productivity. In the current world, it's no longer about achieving a goal only. It's also about achieving maximum result with the minimum resources invested. That's what makes you a leader of the market, and that's what makes you the winner. Therefore, the tech can be your best friend on that journey. Another very important benefit or side effect is a data-driven decision making. For ages, mankind was busy with collecting data. The data is already there. It's more than enough for the decision making. What we need is we need to learn how to understand that data and how to draw some conclusions that work best for us and how to use data to assist us and ease our life. And the third one is agility and adaptability. If modern human cannot adapt to the ever-changing circumstances in which we live, it's simply dying out. Sorry for my French, but it's a fact. We all seen the results of products going viral overnight. We've all seen the effect of how soon the modern technology and the information exchange can make an impact on our decision. To build an infrastructure and a setup which can go from 10 users to 10 million users overnight is simply impossible without digitalization and heavy dependence on tech. So is that a vanilla sky that I'm discussing? Well, no. There are lots of challenges on the way. I've seen more than enough, trust me, C-level managers, shareholders, company owners, state decision makers who think digitalization happens overnight, who think that digitalization is only about buying a fancy corporate system that they will be installing in their operations, and all 650, that's my latest case, employees will simply smoothly switch from writing by hand into inputting data into the system, then analyzing it, then drawing conclusions and utilizing it back in the real world. Well, no, sorry to disappoint. There are like lots of challenges, but I'm just going to concentrate on the major one, and this is like fundamental of all the challenges. This is where all the problems start, where they evolve, where they are being ignored at the same time, and which are usually the main reason of failed digitalization process, if any. Resistance to change. It's not a system, it's not a guideline, it's not a book of principles, it's the people. To start digitalization and ever reach an end, first you need to work with the people, because it's all about people. It's all about me, you, and the rest of the team. What you need to understand is that it's uncomfortable to make changes. It's uncomfortable to change the way of doing things. And unless all 650 are okay and understand all the benefits of the process, there is no way you can achieve any of the goals, what to say about the ones that we envisioned in the beginning. This is the most neglected milestone in the digitalization process usually. What tech people, me being one of them, unfortunately, often fail to do is that we don't communicate with the crowd on the language that they understand. I've seen more than enough cases of tech person telling an average marketing person, we're going to integrate your CRM through our SDK into our core system, so we will transfer all the data, and then generative AI will design the scenarios that you will be seeing through the dashboard. And you see a blank face, glass eyes, zero understanding. On the other side, usually it's me sitting in between and translating from English to English, saying, we will take the customer information that you are collecting from your users. We will analyze it through our technologies. They don't care how I'm going to be doing that. Is it through API, or I'm going to simply downloading and uploading and doing what? And then through a very nice visualization of graphics, we will be providing the analytics to you. And upon time, we will be able to help you in planning the future activities that best suits your customers. That's a completely different conversation. That's what decreases the resistance to change, because let's be realistic. We fear what we don't understand. And the only way to fight that is to make people understand what we are doing, how we are doing, and what for are we doing that. The next is a skills gap. What we also fail to do is we fail to understand how the technology is affecting the general skill set of a human, and in perspective, Armen was talking about the skills that will no longer be needed and the new skills that we will need in the future. Like I said, we've been busy collecting the data for ages. Now we no longer need the data collection skills because the tech is doing that. What we need is we need to retrain, reteach, and re-educate our people, not only employees, but we start the game with the founders, okay? They are the toughest guys in the room usually. So we teach them how to shift their mindset and their way of thinking from collecting the data into analyzing the data. I strongly believe, and it's not only me, happily, that tomorrow, day after tomorrow, the rarest skill that we will need the most will be decision making. we will have all the data available for decision making, but it's all about making the decision, taking the responsibility, and owning it. So the skill, how we're going to be addressing those challenges is on the next slide. I'm not that boring. The next is data security. It's a very fancy topic, popular. Everyone is talking about data security, cyber security, all kinds of security, firewalls, and all the fancy words. But how seriously we need to take the data security? I'm going to tell you how seriously we need to take. How many of you are comfortable with sharing their singing in the shower? That's how seriously we need to take the data security. It's a must. It's a hard thing to maintain. Usually we fail to consider importantly enough data security while doing the digitalization, and it has its own price. Not all the countries are ready on legislative level to monitor the data security. But the thing is that unless we invest in these today, tomorrow, there is no tomorrow. There is no privacy in tomorrow and even beyond. Integration issues. Another overlooked challenge of the digitalization. Most of the companies did something about the digitalization. They tried it somehow, bought some tech, etc. Then one day they realized that it's critical to their existence, and I mean it. It's critical to their existence to be digitally viable, let's say so. So they decided that they're going to throw away all the tech, all the systems that they currently have, buy a completely new one, invest tons of money, loads of hours, millions of nerves in it, and just lose whatever was done. We need to understand the importance of the institutional memory, first of all, and the importance of, like I commonly call them, the dinosaur systems. Those systems are working. You just need to find a smart way to integrate them into the modern life. My best solution in terms of digitalization is putting a puzzle together. It's like making a Lego construction. You have different bricks with different systems because most of the systems are very good, efficient, and strong in one, maximum three things. You can't find a universal, all tailored and designed for you system. So don't be scared of integrating multiple within each other and take your time with it. If you expect, again, the integration to happen overnight, it's not going to be, never going to be the true story. What you need to do, you need to go slow, you need to do it step by step, and you need a strategy. How do you integrate, transfer data, etc. Data overload. I have an expression in Georgian about it. I just don't know how to translate it. It's when you do nothing, and then one day you decide to do everything. We need to be very rational about what kind of data do we need for our operation, what do we collect, what do we use, and how do we use it. Because there's usually a scenario of, I don't know, pharmaceutical company collecting data about, no, that's a bad example, about, I don't know, education company collecting data about, I don't know, my friend's something, or some crazy amount and volume of the data. Not only it is not sustainable, it's very expensive, and it usually poisons the whole beauty of technology and data-driven decision making. You need to understand what you need, what are the critical aspects for you, and then like cherry pick from the oceans of the data that you can possibly collect. Because don't forget, if you're in a regulated industry, you also need to save that data, archive it, protect it, and that all costs money, and it's not like 1 cent or 2. And last but not least is the uncertain return on investment. That's the biggest struggle with the founders mostly and the finance people. Me, myself, being with a financial management background with over 10 years, I struggled to understand initially what's the return on investment. Because it's not like straightforward. It's not a new machinery that you buy and your production increases by 20%. You need to understand the long-term effect and the benefit that the technology is bringing. We don't do it just to tick the box that we are digital. We don't do it because we expect immediate impact, but we need to, again, change the way that we think. We need to understand that in 5 years, unless I have, 5 years is like a lifetime in the world of the tech. If we don't have a CRM system which provides in-depth analytics of our customers, we will start losing our customers. Again, Nokia made that crucial, mistake. They thought that the technology would never stick, and where are they now? BlackBerry did the same the same mistake. In 2017, they officially left the market. I'm talking only about the leaders. I'm not even talking about the number 4 or number 5 in the list, what they did there. So it's a fun story. You can just Google all the cases. So, what's the universal key to all the challenges? It's the strategy and the communication. That's it, communication on every level, with people, with providers. They are either your best friends or your worst enemies, so that you understand. And the strategy shall never be designed by the tech guys. Because what they do, what the strategy looks like with them is research the system, then develop SDK, code API, integrate, debug, fix, monitor, go live, and supporting service. What you need in this strategy is talk with the founder, get him on board, talk with the head of the departments, put them on board, let them talk to the employees, put them on board, then research the needs of the company. Because what are we adapting the technology for, right? To better serve the needs of our main business. If I'm a hotel, I don't need a solution that comes from the world of agriculture, unless I have that too. So we need the business people who run our businesses on a daily basis to talk to the tech people. It's a must to have a translator between, because yes, they speak the same language, but they don't understand each other usually, and to come up with a strategy that is viable for the specific business or state agency or group or an initiative. It's like industry agnostic, I would say. And to go to the specifics, there's a very clear, straightforward tool set. We don't need to reinvent the wheel there. Culture of openness is usually something that is hardest to achieve. I love doing that through maintaining the privacy. That's a very effective tool. I call it a private feedback. I don't call it any nasty names, but that works. Another thing is that you need a champion. When you are doing the digitalization of a huge company, 650 people, you need champions who will be the first one who come up and talk about the challenges that they have openly. I have happened to bribe those champions several times, like having one-to-one conversations, asking them to be the team leaders, etc. And it's also critical to identify those people and to make sure that they stay throughout the process. Then there's training and development. Training and development is not what I mean, which usually comes with a tech integration, one-day training session, and then they point to all the technical documentation, which is usually very poorly designed, completely vague for a non-tech person. I mean training your people on how to make the technology work best for him or her. That's what I mean by training. Not pushing the buttons, not how to filter the data, not how to send out an email, but how to make that technology work for the company, ultimately. Robust cybersecurity. Like I said, it's an easy thing to implement, very hard thing to maintain. Cybersecurity starts every morning when we check our phone. Every time we open up an email, that's something that we need to keep in mind. And usually what companies do, there is a blank training about cybersecurity with all the pictures of guys in the black hoodies, which are usually the hackers, and there's also a picture of a girl who knows nothing about the cybersecurity. It goes far beyond that, like literally far beyond that, protecting the devices, the software, physical access control, chips, can be cards in your case. It's a new skill that we all need to learn. It's like cyber hygiene. The way we brush our teeth, we need to be checking our devices for being clean. Sadly, and I don't mean the dust on the computer, okay? You can find loads of coffee in my computer. Phased integration, like I said, taking it slow is a bulletproof way to success. No changes happen overnight. I mean, literally no changes. AI and analytics. AI is a very, very famous and popular topic currently. Sadly, very few of the business owners understand what AI stands for. I even have a joke that they talk about the AI and they think it's a potato. They do not understand that basically it's an algorithm which, unless trained properly, won't do any benefit to you. Just before me, Sabrina was talking about the faults of the AI unless they are trained properly. So we need to understand that all the fancy algorithms are literally nothing without the business insights and without provision of a proper, clean, reliable data, which would be nice if it's acquired in a very legitimate way. But sadly, it doesn't happen always. And analytics, like I said, these tools can either make your business the winner of the market and the number one, or they can simply get you to the point when you are declaring bankruptcy with very sad and teary eyes. Because analytical tools are just it, tools. Unless you apply it properly, it's like medical tools. You can kill with it and you can also save a life. So be very careful with that. And metrics and goals. Metrics and goals are what provides the answer to the question about the return on investment. You need to have some measurable results, not only because you need to understand what you are returning on the investment that you made, but also it's a great motivator for your team. Put some KPIs, put some benchmarks, put some targets. That's a very effective way of motivating the crowd, unifying them around the same goal and making them work together towards something. Commonly, they don't completely understand what they are working on, but they are working on. And the understanding comes with the time. It's like a habit that they need to develop within themselves. Conclusion, I am that fast, I told you. So, being proactive, it's my lifetime motto. I can't sit and wait until some happens and then I need to react to that. I love solving the problems before they happen. So that's also a very nice way of managing the digitalization. Again, like I said, there's already enough experience with failed digitalizations. There's already enough experience with the mistakes that has been done, like loads of them. Just do a nice research, you'll have absolute majority of them, and that you can integrate in your strategy and kind of find some workarounds. Embrace the change. It hurts, I know it hurts on physical level, on mental level, on psychological level, on every level, but it's the ultimate way of winning the market, community, etc. Invest in skills, but do it wisely. There are lots of education programs, most of them being free. And when I say invest, I don't mean money only. Invest your time and your effort. I've been struggling to finish my last course for like 2 months. I promise I'm going to do it in August. That's the biggest investment and the best investment you can ever do. And commit to continuity. Like I said, it's an everyday job. digitalization is an everyday job. Succeeding in it is like 24/7 job, because what we see today is tech is changing overnight. The tech revolutions are happening overnight. Like 5 years ago, I don't remember anyone talking about the blockchain and using blockchain in healthcare industry to provide a provenance for the, what? Literally. But what we see is that it goes too fast. Currently, the speed of a life cycle is twice as much as it was like 10 years ago, maybe even more. If you want to adapt to that, the only way is to adapt to commit to the continuity. So again, now we'll go to have lunch. If there are any questions, I'm around throughout the day. Thank you again for your patience and for the attention.